Hello guys, Brawlden here, and I just watched Iron Man 3, or rather I just watched it a couple days ago. And I think the reaction's a little ridiculous, and I think on both sides. Let me start off this review by saying I don't think it was a very good movie. I think Shane Black should stay far away from comic book movies. I think he doesn't really understand the point of a comic book movie. In my opinion, I think a comic book movie should try and attempt to be a faithful adaptation of the comic we loved. You know, God, I don't even want to go into the Mandarin. Oh my God, even saying that just it was and it was just stupid. All right. So, if you're wondering how I felt about the movie, as I said, I didn't like it, and I'll express my reasons why. Number one, I felt like the villain didn't have a huge motivation. Now, you could be saying, oh my god, he was on the rooftop and he was going to commit suicide. Isn't that a great motivation? And sure, that's a good motivation for wanting to, get back at Tony Stark and trying to take Gwyneth Paltrow. That could be seen as a reason why he wants to take her as his trophy. But the reason for that regeneration or the aim, thing, I don't think that was really properly explained, and it's not like I wanted 2 minutes of exposition on it. I just wanted a line or two about what it is and why some people blow up and why they don't blow up, and why he wants to, why he has to kill the president and cause a stir and start up the Mandarin. So the point of the Mandarin, at least as much as I could decipher, was that he wanted to start a war, and he was trying to construct a war. Now, I guess the point he was trying to make was that he's trying to profit off the war because of soldiers who get their legs, blown off or something like that, and he's trying to make money off of them. I think that was what Shane Black was going for, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense because I don't see why he couldn't have just implement. There's so many people who are already amputees, and this would already be a huge service to them. So I don't get why he had to start the war in the first place. Maybe one of you can explain in the comments down below, but that was a huge gripe for me. Not really, because here's the thing. Before I went into the movie, I said to myself, if this does not have a good villain, I know I'm not gonna like the movie because here's the thing. And I keep saying here's the thing, I apologize. Iron Man I thought was terrific, and I thought Iron Man 2 was okay, and, I had the same complaints as many. I thought it was a little too... I'll go into it in a later date. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret right now. But by this point, we know that Robert Downey Jr. can act. He is Tony Stark by this point. He embodies that character so well, and I think we can all really just... When you see him, you're just that's Tony Stark. When you see Robert Downey Jr., I don't know about you guys, but every time I see him act, I'm like, you know what? That's Tony Stark. There he is, right there. I mean, I think he's great as Tony Stark. And then Gwyneth Paltrow is Gwyneth Paltrow. She was okay. She didn't have to do anything special for the movie, I guess you could say. By the way, this is I won't go into spoilers right now. Later on, I'll alert you guys when I'm going to go into spoilers, but as I said, Gwyneth Paltrow was Gwyneth Paltrow. She was okay. And then you had Ben Kingsley. I'll go into him a little bit later. I think he portrayed the Mandarin. I'm, making quote symbols with my hands. I'll express that later. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. I think he portrayed that pretty well, and I thought he did a decent job. Guy Pearce, when you have a villain, it's really hard to tell when it's becoming too hammy and when it's too not. But I don't think it was that memorable of a villain. Like, I don't think 10 years from now people are still going to be talking about the Joker or Anton from No Country for Old Men or the Joker from The Dark Knight or the villain from Psycho, who I'm totally blanking out on his name, and yeah, I should be disgraced. But we're going to be talking about him for years to come. We already are talking about the villain from Psycho, and that was made, I want to say, 50 years ago or 52 years ago. So this villain didn't strike me as memorable. And, as expressed previously, I didn't really believe his motivations. I got the fact he wanted to get back at Tony Stark, even though I didn't think that was, like, ultra compelling because, like, let's be honest, Iron Man 1, what's the villain? Tony Stark makes a mad scientist mad and he wants to kill Tony. Iron Man 2, what happens? Tony makes a mad scientist angry and the mad scientist wants to kill him. Iron Man 3. Oh my god, the Mandarin. How original. How awesome. Oh, we gotta get the coolest character in arguably the Iron Man universe, besides, of course, Iron Man. And, I'm not gonna go into it right now, but how do I do this without spoiling it? But it ends. Alright, spoiler alert a little bit here, so bear with me. If you want to, I'll put like a little timestamp on the screen that you could skip to. That will, I'll move on from the spoilers. Alright, so the Mandarin was a joke. Can we all be honest right now? That was so stupid. I'm sorry. Here's the thing. If this was not Iron Man 3, I thought it was a really good idea for a movie. And I thought it was great, and I thought if it wasn't in the if it wasn't in the Iron Man universe, it would have been great. Now, the reason why it pisses me off is because the comic book fans, the original fans of Iron Man, who the movie was, you could say, they turned Iron Man into a thing so that it could become a movie. And now Shane Black pretty much just flipped off all the Iron Man fans, at least the fans of the comics, and making the Mandarin a total jackass. I mean, if you saw the movie, yeah, I'm going to go into spoilers. He's pretty much an idiot actor who is playing the role of the Mandarin. And it's supposed to represent, like, Osama. They say it in the movie, it's really subtle. Oh, like Osama bin Laden and Gaddafi and some other, I forgot the other leader, but they say it. He says it. Guy Pearce says it. He doesn't let the audience even figure out the commentary they're trying to make. He blatantly says it. I don't know. That really bothered me. I feel like Shane Black's just being like, you're stupid. Let me explain the brilliant social commentary I'm trying to make here. It's like, it's a freaking Iron Man movie, and I could appreciate the attempt at political commentary, but at the end of the day, how do I put it? If you're not going to dwell deeper than one or two lines about it, if you're not going to dwell deep, and I know I said one or two lines about the thing before, but I'm talking about if you want to make a political commentary like he was, obviously trying to do, I would have loved to see more substance, not in terms of him explaining, well, the media tries to exploit our fears. Show it more. Show us more, please. Or delve deeper into that political commentary. And I thought that would have made the movie, more compelling. But you can't do that, which is why it shouldn't have been there in the first place. It would have to be an entirely different movie if it wanted to be about political conspiracy and political warmongering and fears and how the media and government exploit our fears and insecurities. It would have been a totally different movie. Not Iron Man. But when you're making the Iron Man 3 movie, they have to, focus. I feel like I'm getting redundant here, but they have to focus more on Iron Man. And so they're not able to go off on this long, story with winding ways and that kind of stuff. Now, the problem I had, and I was getting to it a little earlier, is that the comic book fans are the ones who made Iron Man a thing. They're the ones that put him on the map, and they're the ones that effectively allowed for a movie to be made. If it weren't for the original fans of the comics, Iron Man the movie would never be a thing. There would be no Tony Stark or nothing like that. Tony Stark is something that was created essentially, obviously by the creator, but I'm saying it was really given popularity by his fans, obviously. Now, the thing is, as I said previously, Shane Black pretty much just flipped off all of the Iron Man fans, the comic. And I don't know, I find that really despicable. Not to mention the ending of the movie, I didn't find that satisfying. And you may say, well, it shows a complete transformation in the character of Iron Man. It's like, thinking about it, maybe I'm expecting a little too much of this comic book movie. Maybe I'm thinking that there's more to it than that. But, when I see a movie like The Dark Knight, which is extraordinarily compelling, which is extraordinarily entertaining, which is extraordinarily um, awe-inspiring. And it's just such a grandiose and beautiful movie. And besides, I hate Batman in it, but I'm going to. God, he's such a bad. No, that voice is really dumb. I don't know why they didn't tell him otherwise. Like, whatever. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that my standard for these comic book movies is really high by this point. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't expect. Then you may be saying, "Well, it's a Marvel movie," and then I guess you'd be right in saying that because you know what? It is a Marvel movie, and that I wasn't a huge fan of the. I almost said I was. I wasn't. Was not a huge fan of the Avengers. I actually happened to. I thought it was okay. I thought it was extraordinarily overrated. I mean. It's one of the top 250 movies on IMDb. Are you kidding me? Like, really? People gave that movie a 10? Do they understand the implications of that? Then they're saying that The Avengers is equivalent to some beautiful movies. Like, I'm talking The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, Citizen Kane, Cinema... Oh, God, I'm going to butcher this. But Cinema Paradiso, or whatever that name of the movie is. Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood. I could go on and on about great movies that explore the human condition. And you're effectively saying that The Avengers, which is no doubt a fun movie. It's a fun action movie where you go... Oh, what was that? Where you go click, and then there goes your mind, and here comes the fun. That's a movie. And if you're going to deny that, I mean... If you're going to say it's some sort of compelling event, you could say it's compelling, but if you're going to try to deny me, well, you know what, even if you say it's compelling, well, there's a lot of drama with the characters, none of the characters were going to die in that movie. Everybody knows that. They couldn't do that. It's obvious. You had Iron Man 3 planned, Thor 2, Captain America 2. They're probably going to make another Hulk soon enough. And then you had the Avengers 2. So obviously none of them were going to die. So I didn't feel any tension in the movie. It was just, it's just a movie where you just go, oh my God, they're blowing shit up. Yeah, funny dialogue. Even though, like, some of it's not even that... Like, I get it. The people find it funny when the guy's like, I am a god. Like, oh, that was a bad impression. But you know what I mean. When, oh my God, I forgot his name. Whatever. When the guy's like, I'm a god. And then, Hulk goes, bang, 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 bang. And then it's, it's funny. It's funny for the kids. But if you're like, well, no, I'm not going to say, that's being a bit arrogant of me. It's funny for, I guess a lot of people may enjoy that kind of stuff. But it's not some sort of intelligent insight into how we think and why we think what we do. Do you get what I mean? And I'm not saying every movie needs to be like that. I'm just saying that, I apologize, I need to read something out real fast, but I'm not saying every movie needs to be like that. I'm just saying that you can't compare the two. One is a fun schlock movie. I'd give The Avengers like a 6. And then you have these excellent movies, like as I said before, Apocalypse Now, which I'll go into later. And then you get to this piece of garbage. Oh my God, this movie was. I'm sorry, it was. Here's the reason why I think it was so bad, because they were given. Why I'm so angry. They were given $200 million. $200 million. I can't even imagine that amount of money. And they were given some of the best actors alive today. Guy Pearce, Ben Kingsley, Robert Downey Jr. That woman, I don't think she's one of the best actors around. But, they were given a huge budget. A huge, I mean, an awesome cast. Like, I'm not kidding when I say awesome. I mean it. Ben Kingsley is a tremendously good actor. And I thought he was okay in this, but it was stupid. It was really stupid. And their attempts to pass it off as some sort of intelligent social commentary. Please. I didn't even get into the plot holes. Let me go into them. I got into some of them, but I'll go into more of them. Why, when the helicopters are coming in, why the hell does he not spawn the suits then? What the hell? I thought he was working on them all the time. And don't give me some BS excuse like, oh, it was in the heat of the moment. He was smart enough to pull the suit over Gwyneth Paltrow. Huh? What? Why? And he said, oh, she's the most important thing in the world to me. So call up your freaking suits to defend against your house being blown up. Like, what? Oh my god, that was just so stupid. I'm sorry. Why do some things blow... Why when they take that, whatever it is, AIM thing, why do they blow up, some of them, and why do some of them not? Is it a genetic thing? Is it because they I don't... Beats me, I don't know. I thought the humor in this movie was okay. What's, and more plot holes in the movie I'll go into more. As I said, motivations of the villain, I had a huge issue with. And that's kind of what the whole movie relied upon. I feel like what this movie suffered from was a really weak base, and a really non-compelling story, and a really weak ending. You know, to sum it up. Then again, I thought there were some strong elements. I thought the humor was good. I thought the actors were good. But that still doesn't... Here's the reason why I call... You may ask, well, why'd you call it a piece of garbage then? Compared to Iron Man 1, compared to, you know, let me think, to The Dark Knight, it's a piece of garbage. It doesn't even hold up to it. And I was watching, I've read a lot of reviews of this movie, I've watched a lot of reviews of this movie. I don't get how, you know, I get it, people find different things entertaining, but by this point, come on, did you really find the ending with all those Iron Men, like, fun? Really? Like, I just found it... Oh, there's a big one with the bulldozer arms. Oh, there's the one who could break off into many different pieces. It just felt... It felt stupid to me, and it felt like I was just so bored. I was so bored. That's not what Iron Man's about. Iron Man's about one man trying to fight... you know, survive with this ailment and still trying to fight injustice in the world. And in this movie, it was compelling to see that he doesn't know if he can really do it anymore. He doesn't know if he can fight all of these things, especially after the Avengers with the aliens. And that was okay, but it couldn't redeem this movie. It really couldn't. And the ending, you know, I know they can't kill off Gwyneth Paltrow, because that would be totally contradictory to what I just said about appeasing the fans, appeasing the comic book fans, but it was just... It's hard to get an emotional payoff with these movies if nobody dies. And I'm not saying, like, someone has to die to get an emotional payoff, but it would have been really compelling if Gwyneth Paltrow's character, Pepper Potts, had died. It would have been awesome. I mean, here's the thing. I know what I just said about the Mandarin, and I get it. That, you know, you can't kill her off, and I get that if she had been killed off, I probably would have been angry. But I'm saying if they could have done something, I don't know, the equivalent of the kind of emotional response that would have evoked, without killing her off, obviously. You know what, they could have done it if they included the Mandarin, but they said, screw it, whatever. We don't need him. Let's try... It felt like the political commentary was really tacked on. This movie felt really silly to me. There was a Home Alone kind of section where he buys stuff from Home Depot. I get it, that's cool. Oh, you know, he's living out on... He's, you know, not using the suit. But also, okay, question. Why does someone's suit who can withhold Thor's hammer and aliens be destroyed by a bus or a truck, rather? It just gets demolished. What? That was... Oh, it was so stupid. My God, and he kept losing the suit too. He was, you know, you would think if he spent all this time on his suit, he would have finally, you know, designed it to be obviously not, you know, invincible, but it would be so strong that a freaking truck couldn't destroy it. He flies up and he hits the truck, and sure, it's funny because everybody in the audience is like, oh, the suit broke. I get it. Oh, it's funny, but whatever. I'll go into another point. I felt the little kid was a really like contrived. If that, it felt like, where the hell did that little kid come from? What, like, I, God, I don't know. And the ending, as I said, it was so similar to Iron Man with the "you can't take it away, I am Iron Man." Whatever. Let's hope that Man of Steel doesn't suck, because if it sucks, this year is surely going to be the year of disappointments. Now, guys, if you want to say what you felt about this movie, maybe you could convince me otherwise. Maybe you could be like, Scott, or, well, my name's Scott, so, oh my god, you found a, you'd be like, you're an idiot, and here's why, X, Y, and Z, and you could say, well, the music was really good. Oh god, that beginning with I'm blue, yeah, wasn't really feeling it from the get-go. It felt a little too kiss kiss bang bang for me, and not enough Iron Man for me. You know, Obviously I think I'm in the minority. I've seen some of the reviews and everybody seems to be loving this movie, so whatever. If you like the movie, good for you. But I don't know. I just felt like it could have been so awesome. But instead, it just fell flat, and it just floated away. There was the awesomeness with Iron Man 3. Oh my god, it could be really awesome with the Mandarin and this and that and this and that, and oh, there it goes. And then Shane Black's like, okay, let's make a movie that's funny, and like, okay, how did another question, how did the armor go from maybe I'm not very good at uh, calculating distances, but I felt like the armor got to him really quickly, if you know what I mean. At the end, when he goes like, you obviously can't see this, when he extends his arm, and then the armor comes to him, and it goes on to say, that felt really fast to me. I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain that. What does it go, like 700 miles an hour or something? I felt, I guess. And the scene where he saves all of the people was, I don't know. I thought it was okay. Here's the thing: the pros, good acting, good effects, good music. The negatives: the story is horrible. I was gonna say whatever. The story is shit. The plot is shit. Some of the characters are really bad. The dialogue's okay, some funny one-liners, but besides that, mainly pretty bad dialogue. Here's the thing. Final thing. I know I keep saying here's the thing. Final thing, because this is getting way too long. This movie felt like a cake that was on the bottom. There was something, but it was really sloppily done. And then on the top, you had all of these beautiful, like, decorations and all this awesome shit and blah blah blah, and it looks so amazing and artistic and beautiful, and it's detailed and lovely. But when the foundation of that cake is so sloppy that all of the beautifulness, all of the detail and the shine of it is starting to slip because the foundation can't hold it, it just all falls apart. You need to start with a good story. It all starts with the story. Every single good movie does. Whether or not they execute it well, now that's another question. But it all starts with the story. And that's it. I think that's the takeaway from here. Sorely disappointed. Now, typically, I don't like the 10 points stars bullshit system that IMDb uses. That's like garbage anyway. It's good at showing off some great films, like The Shawshank Redemption, or well, what am I thinking of? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or actually a lot of people probably would have found out. City of God is an example of a movie that probably got a lot of attention due to its IMDb rating, but that site. The fact that whatever. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just wasting your time by this point. Alright, if you want me to give this movie a 1 to 10, I'd probably say a 5.5. About. And you may say, what?
What? You can't give it a 5.5? Oh my god, you said the acting was great and the directing and...
Well, I didn't say the directing was great.
And the music and the action. That's like at least a 7.
No. No. The Avengers would be like a 6 or, probably pushing a 7. Now, that knew what it was, is the thing. It knew it was schlock. It knew it was boom, 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 bang, bang, fun times, fast dialogue, action, all the characters talking, all the characters being witty and funny and interesting. And, it has a silly plot, but, who cares? We're having fun. That kind of stuff. So it's very forgivable in that sense. But a movie like this, you could tell they were trying to be intelligent. You could tell they were trying to have some sort of message, and that's not a bad thing. It's just when you don't have a good story to support it, it falls apart. It really does. And at least that story, the story in the Avengers was, there's a bad guy and he wants to find the Tesseract or whatever the hell the cube was, and he's going to create a dimensional rift and he's going to bring down aliens and they're going to destroy the world. So we all need to come together. That's the story. Boom. Bad guy wants to destroy the world. We need to fight him. Boom, 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 boom. Done. That's it. Simple. Keep it stupid and simple. And then this movie comes out and it's like, well, there's a Mandarin, and he's this, Osama bin Laden-like figure, and he's just really a stage for this other guy who doesn't really have any motivation besides trying to get back at Tony Stark, but he still wants to cause a war between America and the Mandarin, or wherever the Mandarin came from, because he wants to make money for his system that rejuvenates different that helps amputees, and the vice president's in on it, and they want to kill the president because it's going to make a message if they kill the president, but oh no, Tony came in. But why does he want to start the war? Who knows? It doesn't matter. This is a stupid movie. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, don't waste anything. The Mandarin, if you like the comics, you love the Mandarin, run. Run away now. Stay as far as you can from this movie as possible if you were a fan of the Mandarin. Spend your money elsewhere, because trust me, you're not going to get a thing out of this movie besides frustration, anger, and disappointment, and maybe a few laughs. We're pushing 30. Okay. If you guys would like to see me review anything else, please just leave a comment in the comment section below. Leave your own review of the movie. I'd love to read it. It would be a ton of fun to see what your guys' oh my god, that's probably bad grammar, but to see your opinion on the movie. If it contradicts mine, who cares? Let me see it anyway. I'd love to see if you're just like, maybe this is what people want. They like the the story with boom, boom, boom. Maybe that's what people like. Who knows? Also, Confused Matthew is an idiot, and he should stop reviewing movies. If you don't know who he is, don't look him up. If you want another good movie, I don't know why I'm going into this. I'm going to end it now. I'll see you guys later for the next movie. Next, I'll review... I don't know what I'll review. Probably The Great Gatsby. Maybe. Or whatever you guys want. I'll see you guys later.